When mental health issues result in 911 calls, police often find they're dealing with situations that aren't really criminal, and when there's no other option, police often escort people to the emergency room who don't really belong there.
When you take somebody in, they're actually technically under arrest under the Mental Health Act, and thus they have to be, a peace officer has to stay with them. So you're tying up a uniformed police officer there for hours.
It's not the ideal situation for the police, the patient, or the health system.
You can imagine somebody that is feeling very depressed, suicidal, having to sit in a chair for 4 hours waiting to emerge, and emergency is full enough as it is, and people are having to wait a long time.
Agencies looking for solutions found a program teaming a health professional and a police officer. The Primary Care Network and the RCMP formed PACT, the Police and Crisis Team, consisting of a mental health nurse and a dedicated RCMP officer. Results have been outstanding.
7 out of 10 mental health calls by the RCMP were taken to the emergency room. Now 1 out of 10 is taken.
The members go there, make sure that it's safe, and then bring in the PACT team to actually sit with that person and figure out what's going on and get them to the care that they need.
Lots of times those crisis situations, they just need somebody to help them talk things through and look at their options and show them that there is support out there. They need help, they need support, but they don't necessarily need to be in hospital. So it frees up that member. It then frees up ER.
For a number of agencies providing help to people with mental health issues, PACT is a significant development.
Many of the people that we see in this situation are people we've seen frequently, and because of that, the PACT team has been able to really have those people on the radar and already know what kind of resources they're connected to in the community.
They've never had people advocate on their behalf. This team is designed just for that. So in that way, there's less emergency room visits, less police picking people up, taking them to cells. It has a huge impact on our community. We're moving forward to help people in the way that they need to be helped.
Yes, there's been something that's happened that needs to be attended to that was wrong, but underneath that, there's an individual that's not doing well and needs some support, maybe some medication, maybe some treatment, maybe some housing.
The PACT team themselves have some credibility and are able to do some work that the regular RCMP members cannot do. We're happier to call them when somebody has a health issue than to use sort of a stronger armed approach, which is sometimes the other option.
Our overall goal is to decrease crisis, to redirect clients from hospital, guide them to supports in the community, make those connections with various different services and agencies.
The City of Red Deer says outcomes for the patients, the agencies, and the social return on the investment are all impressive.
It reduces some of the needs and demands on other more intensive and more expensive services. And I think it's a far more respectful way to work with people who are in crisis.
The success of PACT means the Primary Care Network and the RCMP will continue to fund it for another year. They're also adding a second team.
We did a cost analysis, and for every dollar spent in the PACT program, saving the system $4. I think the PCN is very proud of this program, especially. It's been one of our big successes.
When we didn't have an operating PACT team, wow, did we have a lot more people here. Honestly, an emergency department is not a great place for people who are in psychiatric crisis. It's chaotic.
Almost everybody somewhere in their family has somebody that has a mental health issue. And when they're in crisis, you want them to be handled by a professional, and that's what this team is. When you handle a situation properly with the right people at the right time and intervene early, it can make the difference. It can be the difference between life and death.
This is part of a healthy community that is truly invested in making this a good place to live.
At the end of the day, it's actually really quite cheap for a program and makes a successful long-term impact on clients.
There's some clientele who say, please don't call police on me. If I go off the deep end again, please call PACT team.
I've been in a lot of partnerships in a lot of different communities with varying results, but not many with the results like this has. where they're so fundamentally good for the community as a whole. It does make the community a better place to live, absolutely.